Good morning, everybody. It is a lovely, beautiful, sunny, and unusually warm day today. Hopefully y'all doing good. Let me go change the lighting here. Alright, what is up? And I got a perfect frame rate too, that's pretty dope. Oh, yeah. Alright, so, yeah, it's kind of been a while since it feels like it's been forever since I streamed. Ugh, but what is up? There is, a plethora of discussion to be had today. And I plan on discussing it. But, yeah, not before I take a sip of my coffee. And I got my dog next to me, chilling as usual. So that's cool. Oh, man. Whew. Yeah, I started a new job today, which is, or not today, this week. And it's been pretty good, not gonna lie. I've been needing, or I've been looking for other jobs, for the past, like, month or so. And, luckily I was able to find one, and it's way better, so I'm pretty thankful for that. Just ignore my dogs, by the way, as usual. Yeah, it's been kind of crazy, actually, recently. From in terms of, like, news and stuff. Yeah, I mean, where to begin here? Could do rapid fire, I guess. God, there's so much shit. Ugh. Well, you know what? Yeah, let's... Okay, well, we'll watch this video. Okay, so if anyone here does not somehow know who Tulsi Gabbard is, she was a candidate for the Democrats during 2020 and has slowly inched further away from the Democratic Party and liberalism as a whole. She was also a fill-in for Tucker Carlson on one of his, late night shows or whatever. This was actually, I think I even showed a brief clip of that a couple weeks ago. I don't really remember, but anyway, she has fully embraced the grift at uh, she has fully embraced the right wing grift, which is really not surprising when you think about it. She was always kind of like pro-Assad. She framed it in the beginning, at least, as being like pro reaching out to people and trying to de-escalate things, including dictators without preconditions. And then that moved kind of away from that and more towards like, well, actually, the United States has, it's sort of developed into an American diabolism, which you see a lot actually with people on the left or who are otherwise liberals. Anyway, she was on the Megyn Kelly show, which I've seen some clips of here and there, but let me go ahead and pull that up, and we shall experience this together. She also said some really fucked up things about trans people, which we will get to probably after this. Holy shit. Do you see this? The Democratic Party is now under the control of a warmongering elitist cabal. This is. Ooh. Okay. Oof. um. Yeah, I don't. Why is she using this language so explicitly here? It's not even like she went from like being like a Democrat to a crypto under the guise of like, whatever. But it's like full on, okay, 180, I'm switching from the Democratic Party to the Republican Party, and I'm also going to adopt every single piece of conservative framing they give me. So sort of indicates that she really is like a shallow like vessel of like she's like so unprincipled. If your beliefs swing that far that quickly, it's kind of suspicious, honestly. Anyway, let's just watch this. Oh, okay. Maybe she. Okay, so this is basically her describing why she left the left. I'm gonna get some PragerU vibes from this.
I was 21 years old back in 2002 in Hawaii when very passionate about the environment. I decided to run for the state house in Hawaii. Had never declared a political affiliation before then, and really started to think about which party do I want to, which box do I want to check on that form to file my election papers. And looking at the history of the Democratic Party, especially in Hawaii, I was inspired by leaders who were fighting for plantation workers who were working under terrible conditions, inspired by national leaders like Martin Luther King, President JFK. And I saw a big tent inclusive Democratic Party that welcomed people who held views across the spectrum on the biggest issues of the day, who stood up for civil liberties, who stood up for free speech. And it made sense to me to join the Democratic Party. The Republican Party in Hawaii especially had been the party of the elite, the party of the rich and powerful. And I was interested in being a part of a party that was fighting for the people and fighting to protect our environment. Fast forward over the years, you look back at it, when I ran for president in 2020, really living through what we are seeing now in like high definition and in extreme, which is how this Democratic Party of today, that's controlled by fanatical ideologues, through that presidential campaign as a Democratic candidate for president, uh, they attempted to limit my ability to speak to voters, limit my exposure, and actively sought to undermine and smear my character and credibility in my campaign.
So this is an example of someone falling into the alt-right pipeline. So one of the like most common ways for people to get like I guess sucked into right-wing politics, especially far-right politics, is through the exploitation of those who are disaffected with the Democratic Party. It's important to note that the Democratic Party is a corrupt establishment, and there really is no getting around that at all. This also applies, however, to the Republican Party. However, the framing or the realignment that's attempting to take place here among like demagogues and pundits and what have you is to frame the Republican Party as the alternative to the Democratic Party. They utilize wedge issues, for example, like critical race theory. They also use trans rights as an issue. They use identity politics a lot, culture war, Disney. I mean, fill in the blank. They use all these things in order to highlight the fact that the Democratic Party is super woke or that they are interested or they're uniquely interested in silencing their opponents. And that's another big thing with the free speech because conservatives will express the fact that they are super pro First Amendment, free speech, whatever, um, and highlight the ways in which the Democratic Party is not. They'll say like they fucked over Bernie during 2016 and 2020. So they will try to make it seem like the Democratic Party is uniquely evil, when the actuality is that both of these parties are equally corrupt and in the swamp. What's important to highlight as well is the fact that the Democratic Party, although it has its faults, is a strong preferable option to the Republican Party. I won't get too much into the weeds with regards to why for the sake of this segment, but just know that people can easily fall into the alt-right pipeline if they feel like that the party that they have ascribed to prior has failed them in some meaningful capacity.
This has not stopped. Anytime the Democratic Party leaders see someone that challenges their narrative, that questions the policies they're putting forward, rather than just saying, you know what, hey, I disagree with her, and here are the reasons why. Instead, they take those tactics of smear, destroy, cancel, work with big tech to censor because they don't stand for freedom.
So this is an appeal to conspiracy. The idea that the Democratic Party is conspiring with big tech to censor these conservatives, when you look at it, these conservatives are being openly bigoted on social media, or they're just violating TOS. These are these are well within the framework of a liberal society. There are rules that would need to be abided by. Now, I think that you can have debate with regards to what is a good or bad rule. I think a good rule, honestly, for like social media is to not have Holocaust denial, not have bigotry, things like that. Those are good. Unfortunately, conservatives conflate their bigotry on social media with being canceled, and they're able to utilize that in a way where they can translate it to the public in a propagandistic fashion. So like they'll try to say like they're being canceled or whatever. This is kind of stupid.
They don't believe in the Constitution and are actively seeking to undermine our God given rights enshrined in the Constitution, freedom.
So the implication behind this is also that the preferable option to the Democratic Party is the Republican Party. This idea with what she just said here, with like the that they don't care about the Constitution or they disregard it. I mean, couldn't this also be applied to the Republicans? I mean, when you think about it, I think that like banning abortion is pretty fucked up and it's a removal of civil rights. And not even just that, but like I think in 2020 or maybe 2021, I think it was 2021, there was an there was a wave of anti-protest laws that were being proposed across the country. Um, I think in some states they uh, Republican lawmakers tried to legalize vehicular manslaughter. Maybe that was in Florida or Texas or both. I don't remember. But regardless, this idea that there is a disregard of the Constitution among Democrats as this unique problem when it exists with the Republicans and in perhaps worse or more egregious ways is just mind-boggling. Unfortunately, a lot of conservatism is played upon people's feelings and not necessarily empiricism or like reality. But yeah, I don't know.
Freedom of speech, freedom of religion. They want to control the way we think. They want to control what information we see. And it got to a point where this is a party that I can no longer associate myself with because of the danger and threat that it poses to our country, to our.
So keep in mind, as she's saying all of this, she really just doesn't believe in it. She doesn't really believe in the severity of the Democratic Party in terms of what she highlighted here. She is simply just a grifter. She's doing this mostly for the monetary gain. You can say that that's speculation, I guess, but it is interesting that she has moved away from the Democratic Party in like a world record speedrun fashion and has openly adopted all the narratives and framing in like a year or two. Yeah, that just doesn't really work like that. People think, oh, yeah. So yeah, I don't know. That's really all I have to say about. Oh, there was something else actually. She was, oh god, this was really bad too. I saw this. I'm gonna have to see if I can find it. She spoke at a fundraiser. I don't. Oh shit! Yeah, dude. Okay, here it is. Okay. Now, just to hammer home the point again that Tulsi Gabbard is a grifter. She doesn't really believe in anything. Um, she is partnering with someone who, in their bio, has theocratic fascist, which is pretty on the nose, my dude. But Matt Walsh, is as right leaning, honestly, as you can get. Like just a full on Nazi. Um, you can see this in so many different ways. And the fact that Tulsi Gabbard here is partnering with him, has her name like the biggest here, with next to her name being the Rally to End Child Mutilation, aka affirmation, um, really just goes to show you just the fact that she's a grifter and is willing to partner with fascists. You know, it's like it's pretty on the nose. Like let's just read this really quick. Under the guise of gender affirmation, our kids are being put at risk by those pushing harmful, irreversible surgeries. We must protect our children. Tomorrow, I'll be speaking at the National at the rally to end Trudeau. So yes, again, this is hosted by Matt Welsh, who is a open fascist and who is like it even says it in his like bio. And keep in mind, do you realize how shameless you have to be to openly be a fascist? Like you have to be completely shameless because most fascists, especially those who, especially figures that are more prominent, are usually having to keep it under wraps with like coded language or dog whistles. But do you have any idea how like shameless you have to be to just admit it? And his rhetoric has been so explicitly fascistic, not only just fascistic, but also just transphobic. There was also this recent video I think he had on YouTube, which honestly it's so I've heard that it's so bad, like it's so transphobic. I don't even know if I can play it on stream. Um, I'm gonna have to like watch a clip first or something. But anyway, not to digress too much here. And oh, one other thing to keep in mind also with Tulsi is that apparently she's never really had a good position on LGBTQ plus policies or issues, even when she was a part of the Democratic Party. That's another thing. But this is, yeah, I mean, this is basically just a rallying cry to all transphobes, fear mongering over the very unreal issue of of children having their genitals mutilated. I mean, this is basically a lie. This is a lie, actually. Um, and it's also interesting, and I know this is like an easy dunk you could do, but like it's also interesting that they are quite concerned over child mutilation with regards to gender affirmation, which has positively correlated with um, increased levels of happiness among those who are displaying gender incongruence. But they are unwilling to call out like circumcision, for example, because my personal belief is that circumcision should probably not be allowed. Yeah, I don't think. I mean, you're mutilating children's genitals in this regard, and it's broadly accepted upon society. Um, yeah. In fact, let me look here. This is gonna be a perfect segue too. There is I want to see if there's like that video. I just want to see a clip here because it's pretty fucked up. I don't know how much like I don't know how bad this clip is gonna be. So I'm gonna have to screen it. Okay, hold on. I think this is the one I'm. Yes, I got it. Okay, I'm gonna have to screen this. It's so transphobic. I have to screen it.
So I was not previously familiar with the term.
Okay. It's your standard transphobia. It's not like, yeah, it's not like anything worse than I've shown before. So we'll take a look here. So okay, Matt Walsh. Um, this is the man, by the way, who wants to fuck 16-year-olds because they're the most fertile at that age, according to him. Um, and also has, I believe, advocated for incest. He's quite the character. Also an open fascist, yeah. Um, but here he is talking about trans people, um, and drag queens. I don't know. It's a it's a whole thing. But it's important to watch this for the sake of identifying the ways in which conservatives are framing these issues, as well as the talking points being propagated, because it could allow us to develop better counter, not even just counter arguments, but just rebuttals to what they're saying. Um, but anyway, yeah.
So I was not previously familiar with the term drag mom, though from context it seems that this is just another way of describing a professional groomer. The quote.
Again, groomer in this context to them is just person who is intrinsically sexual that is in close proximity to children. Now, they believe, and by the way, they believe that being transgender or gay is inherently sexual. It's by its nature sexual. Not that it's like that's like fundamentally what they believe. And this is also demonstrated through legislation, which I will be going over after this video. But yes, just keep that in mind because they think that grooming is when there is representation of a trans or gay person in the proximity of children. That's why they call Disney grooming, because of the fucking shows or the NBs they show on their cartoons or whatever. Like this is the way in which grooming is framed as it pertains to transgender issues or whatever.
Drag child is handed over to the drag mom to be groomed and conditioned. It seems to be essentially a sort of pedophilic, predatory farm system that the groomers have set up.
What's interesting is that he claims that this is pedophilia when at the same time he's literally advocated for fucking 16-year-olds.
So, what can be done about this? That's really the question. We've established that this is happening and it's only getting worse over time. Progressivism.
This hasn't yet to be established.
Does what the name suggests, what the label suggests. It's progressivism, so it progresses, except that it progresses in the same sense that, say, cancer progresses.
Is that what progressivism means? Have I been using the word wrong the entire time? All right, I'm going to have to do a quick Google search after this video.
To keep spreading and getting worse and eating away at our civilization until it is stopped or until it destroys its host. And just like cancer, stopping it is not a gentle or a painless process. The farther along the cancer is, the more aggressive you have to be in fighting it.
Keep in mind, he is comparing acceptance of trans people to cancer. He's really just repudiating the ideas of the Enlightenment, of liberalism and like freedom. Like this is really just like a repudiation of that.
Culturally, we are approaching, if we haven't already reached, a terminal state, which means we have to be all the more aggressive, which calls for two things.
So an argument could be made that the framing of this video can lead to uh, terrorist attacks because, like, think about the language he's using here, right? Like saying like it's a cancer, it's going to destroy its host. We need to do something swiftly about that. Like these are all obvious attempts at inciting a response, the response of which is implied to be one of violence. And given the fact that we have seen bomb threats levied towards children's hospitals and Proud Boy members storming drag queen or drag shows, I'm inclined to believe that the implication he's trying to evoke here is to commit acts of violence.
First, obviously, involving children in drag events in any capacity should be outright criminalized everywhere. There is no other way. This doesn't stop until police are breaking down the doors at these places and carting the adults away in handcuffs.
So what he's advocating now is the incarceration of drag queens for the fact that they're drag queens.
Charge them all as pedophiles.
Oh.
Throw them in prison. And whenever they get out, if they do get out, put them on the sex offender registry for life. That man in the first clip dancing around with his skirt up should be treated legally as a child predator.
Counterpoint, no.
That's the level of protection that our children are owed, and the people sexualizing and exploiting them are owed that level of punishment.
It's, oh my god, it's so important to remember at when they're saying this, they also, like, conservatives, like mostly conservatives, are the people who are the ones who are exploiting children. They are the ones who are mostly grooming children. Like this is a complete projection of their own convictions.
This is something that needs to start in red states, and if Republicans take over the White House, it should be handled on the federal level as well.
Oh, take over. Got it. Damn. Okay. Yeah, dude. Like he's an actual open. First off, he's an open fascist, but on top of that, he is an open pedophile. Like, the level of projection here is astounding to me, and it's not even just Matt Walsh either. It's like, it's like a ton of Republicans. But this is the rhetoric being used right now in the general discourse among LGBTQ rights. And if we look at what legislation is being proposed across this country, and I've, by the way, gone over this numerous times on my stream over the course of this year. There's been so many fucked up, transphobic bills proposed. I'm like losing track. But it's important for me to always highlight them and for everyone to understand what's at stake here. So there's this bill. Okay, thank you. Yes, I would like to see this. Okay, there's this bill. Hopefully my dogs don't bark because they just heard a car door close. If we get the Spork Notes version of it, okay, we see some interesting things. A new national bill by Republicans would ban any exposure to transgenderism to children under the age of 10. Transgenderism, in case any of you do not know, is not like a thing. It's something that was created by transphobes. It's not like an ideology, but they frame it as though it is. So this would fire all trans teachers. This would trans workers in hospital that serve children, counselors, social workers, and it defines trans as being sexual. Now, this is what I said in the previous video here, is that they believe that the existence of trans people is sexual. Not what their actions are. It's not like they do something and that's sexual. Their existence is inherently sexual. This is why they believe it necessary. This is one of their supporting arguments for the fact that they believe children are being groomed by trans people, because they think that because their existence is inherently sexual, this must therefore necessitate the fact that they are grooming these children. If we look at the bill, I'm interested in reading a little bit actually here. So, how many pages? Oh, it's only 6 pages. Okay. To prohibit, where is this? Oh, Louisiana? Of course it is. Okay. To prohibit the use of federal funds to develop, implement, facilitate, or fund any sexually oriented program, event, or literature for children under the age of 10 and for other purposes. This is outside of the transphobia here. It's also just like even if they didn't entail like trans people in this, I think it's pertinent among our education system to adequately teach children about sex. Now, it doesn't need to be graphic. It doesn't have to be graphic, but teaching them things such as like anatomy, um, you know, what is and isn't safe sex, what is and isn't grooming. Like these are things that they should be taught because if they're taught this at a young age, then they're able to identify the ways in which authority figures exploit them. So if we look at the act, the name of this is just remarkable too. Stop the Sexualization of Children Act. In other words, the thing that is not happening. Certain school districts that receive federal grants have implemented sexual education for children under 10 years of age. What they mean by this is that there are certain school districts in this country that are receiving federal grants that have trans people as teachers. Many newly implemented sexual education curriculums encourage discussions of sexual. It really doesn't actually. Sexual orientations, transgenderism, which by the way, again, like I said, isn't real, and gender ideology. Again, this is not really happening. There might be some teachers who tell their students if you want to be like they'll give them some very basic things like what pronouns they prefer, but in terms of teaching gender ideology, which by the way I think is also like a thing that isn't real. Like there's gender studies, but this is not happening at any kindergarten. Like almost no kindergartens doing this. So we're off to a bad start here. This point here and this point here is factually incorrect. State and local library systems, museums, and other educational institutions that receive federal grants have purchased sexually oriented literature and materials that target so this is an interesting way of phrasing it, pre-adolescent children and teach them about concepts like masturbation, pornography, sexual acts, and gender transition. So I do not necessarily disagree that there are local libraries that have materials like this. I honestly don't know for sure, but the fact that they frame it as target is a fear mongering tactic. What's incredible also is that it's one word here, so it's a little subtle. You have to like have a keen eye to see this. But yes, this is an attempt at fear mongering because they're implying that there is a conceited effort behind the curtains to sexualize children. Private organizations, state government agencies, and local government agencies have made use of federal grants to host and promote sexually oriented events like drag queen story. This I do not think is the case at all. Has there ever been a case of federal grants being utilized to host drag queen story hours? I don't think that's happening at all. Because yeah, state government agencies, local government agencies, federal. Yeah, isn't like drag queen story hours like privately funded? It's not funded through like the state government or through federal grant. Like yeah, I don't believe that's happening at all. So how many points are we in? We're in 1 point here where that's incorrect. Many newly implemented sexual education. That's also incorrect. That's incorrect. Private organization, that's also incorrect. So we're 4 points in and every single one is false. Federal agencies like the Department of Defense have used federal funds to promote and host burlesque shows and drag shows on federal. I mean, this might be true, but like, who cares? Who cares? Even if number 4 is true, who cares? But like, the Department of Defense, how would that be? Yeah. Oh, so they're mad. Okay, so what I seem to be gathering here is that they're upset that the DoD is using federal funds in order to host these shows in the presence uh, of family members, people who are, I guess, part of the military. I don't really know, but like, again, who cares? Um, okay, sense of Congress. It is a sense of Congress that, all right, parents and legal guardians have the right and responsibility to determine where, if, when, and how their children are exposed to material of sexual nature. This is already the case. And federal funds should not be used to expose children under 10 years of age to sexually oriented material. I don't think that's the case either. This isn't a problem that's happening. Prohibiting the presentation of sexually oriented materials to children under the age of 10. No federal funds may be available or may be made available to develop, implement, facilitate, or fund any sexually oriented program, event, or literature for children under the age of 10, including hosting or promoting any program, event, or literature involving sexually oriented material, or any program, event, or literature that exposes children under the age of 10 to nude adults, individual stripping, or lewd or lascivious dancing. These are all problems that aren't happening. Remember that. That should be in the back of your mind. The prohibition of federal facilities. A federally owned facility or property may not be used to host or promote any sexually oriented program, event, or literature for children under the age of 10, including any program, event, or literature listed in subsection A. Civil action. Private acts, a parent or legal guardian of a child may bring a civil action for objective government, agency, or private entity for violation of subsection A or so subsection A is expose to sexually oriented material funded in part or in whole by federal funds. So they say sexually oriented, right? They throw this word out a lot actually. And a lot of this legislation is predicated on what this means. To them, as I've already mentioned, is they believe trans people are sexually oriented material. That's what they think. So you could, yeah, you could fill in the blanks here if you want. Under the age of 10 at the time that such, okay. An action under this subsection may commence no later than 1 year after the violation. Okay. In any action brought under this subsection, the court in its discretion may award a prevailing plaintiff or civil. Okay. So some technical shit. The appropriate head of a federal agency shall submit a government agency or private entity a written notice of the prohibition on the disbursement of federal funds under paragraph 1. Jesus. They're really dotting their I's and crossing their T's. Oh, this is important. Sexually oriented material. The term sexually oriented material means any depiction, description, or simulation of sexual activity, any lewd or lascivious, depiction or description of human genitals, or any topic involving gender identity, gender dysphoria, transgenderism, sexual orientation, or related subjects. So they snuck that little shit in. Wow. So to them, this basically just proves what I just said. Sexually oriented material to them is any discussion regarding gender identity, gender dysphoria, or transgenderism. So my prediction here was correct. This is pretty inexcusable. So there's nothing inherent. There's nothing sexual about being trans. There's also nothing sexual about gender dysphoria. And same applies to gender identity. I mean, this is basically just like trying to systematically weed out any teachers or counselors or social workers that are transgender. I mean, we're looking at the bill right here. We see it. Stripping means any act that involves removal, simulated removal of clothing in a sexual manner for the entertainment. Okay. Yeah, so they are making a conceited effort to make being transgender illegal. So it starts in steps. They have to you have to approach it kind of in a decentralized way, I guess. So they're going to make an attempt to make it. They're going to try to criminalize um, gender dysphoria. Gender dysphoria. They're trying to criminalize being trans. Blah blah blah. For people who are teachers or for who work in hospitals, shit like that. Basically any exposure to a trans person into, they don't want trans people to be in the vicinity of children, is what it comes down to here. They also will attempt to criminalize going across state lines to get gender affirming care. Now, this was proposed, I believe, in Idaho earlier this year, but it was overruled by the courts, I believe. Now, this is all an attempt at ultimately, if we fast forward to their end state, this is ultimately an attempt at uh, murdering all trans people. And that is not me exaggerating. I'm dead serious when I say this, because if you want a little sneak peek into their beliefs and what they really want here is to have trans people not exist. So if they prevent trans people from being able to have access to gender affirming care, for example, that would increase suicidal ideation or mental illness, which increases the mortality rate of that subset of people. And just to further drive home the fact that this is for cruelty, like this isn't about protecting children. This is not about protecting children because this exists. Texas continues to remove LGBTQ suicide prevention resources from state websites. So, this proves, in my opinion, the fact that they want trans people dead. This was a story a while ago, I guess. And man, what there was a note they said. Yeah, so following the criticisms, the governor, who's Greg Abbott, of Texas, um, he removed a webpage titled "Gender Identity and Sexual Orientation" and a page devoted to Texas a program run by the Department of Family Protective Services, which included the link to the Trevor Project. Yeah. What they said something. I'm trying to find what he said though here. It's not a good time to be fumbling the ball here. Well, basically, he said that he did it because of transgenderism, infecting children or something. Yeah. So anyway, the broader point to be made here is that all of this is not an attempt to protect children. It is, however, an attempt to erase trans people from society, erase their representation within media. It is also an attempt at having them more likely to kill themselves, having them and this is done through removing those suicidal prevention resources. It's also an attempt at they're also attempting to just cause as much misery as they can, really. I know, like, we could dig deep into a lot of this. There's a lot of interacting things going on here. But the long and the short of it, at the end of the day, is really that they believe trans people to be degenerates. They are disgusted by trans people, and this therefore means that they are willing to ascertain laws that systematically discriminate against them, that remove their civil rights, and also prevents them from being able to seek out gender affirming care. So, I wish I had I wish I had good news. I guess what's good is that trans representation now more than ever is more ubiquitous, and there seems to be a higher favorability of trans people and just the LGBTQ plus community as a whole. There's more acceptance than ever before, and it is our duty as citizens to make beliefs like Matt Walsh relevant, at least in the political sense. The stakes are very high for really everyone actually, but especially trans people right now. So I highly encourage everybody who's watching to, if you can, vote for Democrats. Vote for anyone who supports gay rights, trans rights, supports abortion services. You know, really, Democrats are the ones who hold those views. So I would advocate you go and vote for Democrats. I recently voted. Um, voted blue all the way down, and we'll see what happens, man. I mean, it's it is a crazy world, man. Okay, well, that was sufficiently doomer. Um, yeah. So there's a couple of other things to certainly discuss. Yeah. Let us Oh shit, yeah, man. Okay, we'll talk about AOC being booed and all the fucking grifters reactions in a second here. Give me 1 second. I'm just gonna go use the restroom and then we'll do that. So recently, there was a boy. Um, there was a rally of some sorts, I guess, with AOC. Um, yeah. And she was caught dancing or some shit. Fuck. I gotta go find the video though. Yo, hold on. Oh my god. Okay, hold on. I gotta show you this. Holy fuck. This is wild, dude. Okay, if you don't know who Socialist MMA is, then he's he's literally he's basically just a Russian propagandist. This is so fucking funny, man. So his whole shtick on Twitter is it's basically a similar function that Tulsi Gabbard plays insofar as polling people who are disaffected with the left, polling them to the alt right. Same thing, applies to Jimmy Dore, but like his whole thing is to he's crypto, but like at the end of the day, he's like kind of being masked off too, and I suppose he is discussing U.S. intervention in Haiti on RT, Russia Today, and he pinned this. There is no hiding the fact that you are a Russian shrill. Shrill? Is that how you say? Yeah, like he's a Russian apologist. Now, before we watch this segment, I need to do my homework, okay? Because I could be just this could be my American chauvinism flaring up here. But I would like to understand what exactly is going on in Haiti, like right now. Historically, we can go into that, but right now, I want to see what's going on. Oh, I don't want to see the history. Can I just see what's going on, please? This is coming from the U.S. Department of State. I can't really like. I'm gonna have to take this with a major grain of salt. Is there like an article, perhaps? News. Let's look at news. Oh, the Guardian. I don't really trust that either, actually. The Guardian is beginning more and more gray zoney. Is there anything like? Okay, we could do post. I don't know. We can get. It's so hard to find one that's like. Okay, Reuters. Okay, Reuters is good. Okay. U.S. support Haiti police and deliver aid to counter gangs. Okay, so what is happening? What is going on with Haiti? The United States on Wednesday said it will boost support for the Haitian police as they battle armed gangs and will speed up delivery of aid to a country suffering from crippling shortages of basic goods due to the gang blockade of a key fuel terminal. Interesting. Haitian gangs have for a month prevented the distribution of diesel and gasoline, crippling businesses and hospitals and creating shortages of basic goods, including water, just as the country is struggling with a new outbreak of cholera. Yikes. The State Department has created a new visa restriction policy targeting those who support the gangs, and has sent the Coast Guard vessel to patrol Haitian waters. Okay, is that it? U.S. officials who briefed reporters on Washington's response stopped short of offering to send troops to the island nation despite appeals from the Haitian government for an international armed force. When was this updated? October 12th? This was October 12th. This was updated 10 days ago. Could be outdated. But the fact that it hasn't been updated leads me to believe that there is no updates to take place. Hold on. We are working to increase and deploy in the coming days security assistance to the Haitian. Okay. We'll accelerate the delivery of additional humanitarian relief to the people of Haiti. Assistant Secretary of State traveled to Port. During an earlier phone briefing, of course. So it doesn't sound like they're sending troops. So, okay. Sporadic looting and gun battles between gangs and police have become increasingly common in recent weeks as these shortages have led to mounting desperation. Okay, so the outlook is pretty bad. Is making it harder to contain the outbreak of cholera. A rapid action force to help Haiti. Oh, this is from the UN. Without suggesting that it could be deployed by the United Nations. Another point. Our intent is doing so to demonstrate the consequence. Okay, this doesn't seem like unreasonable intervention. So even if they did send troops in here, which they rolled out, even if they did, um, it would not seem like it's unwarranted. I mean, if the gangs are creating a blockade and looting is taking place and there's an outbreak of cholera that is being exacerbated through the presence of the gangs, then it doesn't seem unreasonable to help Haiti out. Okay. Is there is that like it? This was 5 days ago. Is that like the most recent one? Probably is. It's a hill too, so. So the U.S. and Canada sent armored vehicles to Haiti after his government called for foreign help in defending against gangs threatening to oust acting Prime Minister Ariel Henry. Henry's government faces a mounting political and security crisis after the Prime Minister last month announced to end an end to fuel subsidies, sparing crippling shortages. Oh, Jesus. In a statement on Sunday, a State Department spokesperson said that a joint U.S.-Canadian aircraft arrived at the capital city with equipment including tactical and armored vehicles and other supplies. So they didn't send infantry in. This equipment will assist Haiti's nationals in their fight against criminal actors who are fomenting violence and disrupting the flow of critically needed humanitarian assistance, hindering efforts to halt the spread of cholera. So the cholera outbreak seems to be like really bad, and the turmoil being invoked from the gangs is making that spread worse. The spokesperson added that the joint initiative will also help train Haitian authorities. So, okay, gotcha. The delivery comes after a Haitian gang known as G9 and family last month demanded the resignation of Henry amid growing protests over the rise in petroleum prices. Haiti is still reeling from the assassination of former President Jose more than a year ago and devastating earthquake that rocked the island country soon after. Thousands of Asian immigrants have fled the country. So Haiti is getting fucked in multiple different ways: Mother Nature, crime, economics, like everything. Local gangs have been fighting over territorial control of the country, combined with the gas shortages. The violence have disrupted hospitals, gas stations, banks, and grocery stores. At a meeting of the Organization of American States, call for international police force to help secure the country. Haiti's ambassador to the U.S. Okay, so Haiti's ambassador made a plea for the United States and Canadian support earlier in the week. Quote, we wish to see our neighbors like the United States, like Canada, take and lead and move fast. If nothing is done quickly, there is a risk of another head of state being killed in Haiti. We encourage partner nations to contribute to the UN Basket Fund to restore peace and citizen security for the Haitian people. Okay, so basically the countries are getting the... Okay, so basically what's happening from what I've gathered here is that gangs are fighting for territory in the country and are exploiting the rise in petroleum prices as well as the effects of natural disasters to oust the government. And the Haitian ambassador, or Haiti, I guess, seems to want us to come in and help them. We are not sending troops, and we are sending them humanitarian aid as well as armored vehicles and whatever the Haitian police force needs to restore uh, a safe nation, I guess. That's what's happening right now. I don't know the politics with regards to the relationship of the United States and Haiti. Do I really want to dig into it? Fuck. It almost seems like I'm gonna need to for the sake of this segment. Oh no. Okay. This is probably what's going to be brought up in this segment. Um, so the United States of America occupation of Haiti began, Jesus, 1915. After the National City Bank of New York convinced the President of the United States, Woodrow Wilson, to establish control of Haiti's political and financial interests. The invasion and subsequent occupation was promoted by growing American business interests in Haiti, especially the National City Bank of New York, which withheld funds from Haiti and paid rebels to destabilize the nation through the Bank of. So America bad, I agree. The occupation ended after Roosevelt reaffirmed on August 1933 disengagement agreement, the last contingent after a formal transfer of authority to the American region. Okay. During the occupation, Haiti had 3 new presidents, though the United States has ruled as a military regime led by Marines. 2 major rebellions occurred during this period, resulting in several thousand Haitians killed and numerous human rights violations. By Marines and okay. So okay, that's pretty bad, my dude. The banana wars. Okay. Yep. Well, this is bad. Now, does this have anything to do with what's going on now in Haiti? It doesn't sound like it. Oh shit, I don't want to get too much into this. American financial interests. Okay, I think we can kind of get the general sense here. So they use the pretext of fraud being committed by the National Bank of Haiti as an attempt to reorganize financial interest. Okay, so basically they did a bunch of shit to try and soften up their uh, invasion. Sounds like a nation state I know right now with Ukraine. So they did this for basically business interests. Okay. This would be obviously bad. There's really no getting around it. So is there like, what about like recent shit though? Um, sorry, I just want to read. Okay, so they fucked up their infrastructure because it was not like the funds weren't collected by it wasn't utilized for modern for like making the infrastructure good in Haiti. Sounds like there was forced labor. Zoinks. This is probably going to take like a whole and there's human rights shit. Yeah, this is probably going to take some time to delve into. But in for the interests of this segment, I would like to see how this gets framed because if they're just gonna whine and moan about the banana wars, then that's one thing. But like this, this really doesn't have much to do with like what's like. This really has like nothing to do with what's going on right now. Sounds like. Okay, let's take a look.
Live now to go further in depth on this is Nicholas Cruz, co-founder of the Revolutionary Blackout Network. Nicholas, it's great to have you on the program today. Now, the head of the United Nations has called for armed action in Haiti, warning residents face a nightmarish situation. The U.S. Secretary of State said Washington would help the government quell the riots. Now, do you think that a potential military intervention is the right course of action here?
Absolutely not. U.S. intervention and U.S. imperialism is what led to the crisis that we are seeing in Haiti. The same thing with Venezuela. The crisis?
Ooh, I don't know if we can compare these two scenarios. So first off, the geography of Haiti and Venezuela is different, which is relevant, right, for this story because Haiti has been fucked from natural disasters in a way that Venezuela hasn't. In terms of intervention, he doesn't seem to be providing the full context here as to why the U.S. is giving Haiti armed vehicles and shit. And there's like no imagery either.
In Haiti is a crisis of U.S. imperialism. And I'm glad that we get the opportunity to talk about it here today because, quite frankly, the media in the United States have been horrific on this issue.
So this has nothing to do with the story. So basically, he's just whining that the media is suppressing this story because the deep state is like this evil cabal of Jews, and there's really like he's not even like talking about it. He's not providing context. He's not talking about anything. He's just complaining about the U.S.
Smearing anyone who resists the fascist regime in Haiti as a gang, and what the West.
Wait, is he defending the gangs here? Is that the approach you're gonna take? Is there like context behind the gangs? Like, is there like a lore that I'm missing here?
Seems to not understand one of the cause of unrest in Haiti right now is because of nonstop Western intervention.
Okay, so how does that apply here? What Western interest is he referring to? If it's just the Banana Wars, then I highly doubt that this is the main contributing factor as to why there is civil unrest right now in Haiti.
What a lot of Haitians want, they want the opportunity to practice their own self-determination.
Oh god, he's hitting on all the talking points. American imperialism, Western media, self-determinate. Like he's hitting on every one of them. Damn.
Same thing that the West claims they care about when supporting Ukraine. They claim to care about democracy and self-determination there, but they installed a fascist regime in 2014 by mailing in the democracy of Haiti. And this is something that the mainstream media purposely in the United States leave out.
So we're really just going down the dialogue tree. He's not providing any sort of like substantive, unique analysis more than it is just him repeating RT talking points.
The fact that Haitians, they are completely ran by an unelected and unaccountable government. And that is what is leading to these uprisings on top of the economic conditions. So if the UN and all these Western powers send troops into Haiti,
which they said they wouldn't,
what we are going to see is a massive bloodbath. And anyone who actually cares about the quality of life in the Haitian people will not advocate for such a thing.
Well, they are only providing humanitarian aid, and I think I think Haiti themselves wanted UN intervention.
Yeah, that's a great point, and all too often the media does leave out the surrounding context. Now, the Haitian.
You mean like what he's doing here with regards to Haiti requesting aid from the United States and Canada, and also the fact that there's no troops going into there and it's just humanitarian aid?
Prime Minister's calls for international help did spark an angry response from protesters who described it as a call for a foreign occupation.
Why did he leave it off like it? Okay. Oh, okay. Never mind. We're gonna keep going, I guess.
Why do these protesters seem to be so against the presence of foreign forces? And is this just a case where these people have lived through so much intervention already that they know where it leads going?
This is such a loaded question. So obviously the attempt being made here from this RT news anchor or whatever is to put the Banana Wars on a T so that way uh, socialist MMA can just knock it out of the park. So then you can get into a whole dialogue tree regarding, U.S. imperialism during the 20th century, how that created the preconditions leading to this economic disaster that we're in right now. So this is putting it right on a tee for him.
Forward.
Yeah, the age where the United States have a massive propaganda hold on the world is over. You see a lot of Haitians that grew up living the results of the 1994 coup that the United States supported, the 2004 coup that the United States supported as well. So after seeing the United States constantly get involved, one of the main things that Haitians are asking for is the West to get out of their business.
How can you reconcile this with the fact that they requested the assistance of the UN?
Now, this has been a retaliation of the West because Haiti was the first ever and only successful slave result, and it was a slave revolt, and they pushed back against the Western colonial powers and freed themselves, and they had to pay.
So you notice how he keeps using the word Western? Well, this is not on accident. This is something that normally um, those who are politically aligned with Russia would say, because it's a matter of demonizing the West and everything the West does, and framing it in a way where it's everything the West does is in fact imperialism. Sending humanitarian aid to a country that requested it is imperialism to him, and also to people who are politically aligned with Russia. They also did the same thing with Somalia too. In that case, we did send troops. However, it was also requested from the government, and it was like I think it was like 500 or no, it wasn't even 500 troops. I think it was like 300. I don't know. It was not even a lot of troops anyway. But they described that as like an invasion of Somalia. So anytime the United States sends either aid or troops to a nation state that requests our help, they will describe it as either an invasion or as imperialism.
An insane amount of reparations to France as a result. The West is just nonstop and obsessed with meddling in the business of Haitians in order to benefit American companies. And
I think it's also worth pointing out the fact that like many um, powerful nations, not even just the United States, meddles in elections. Not like this is just a fact. I think. They do meddle and they do because every nation state wants other nation states to serve their own interests. Um, and so to isolate the United States specifically, I guess it wouldn't be necessarily inappropriate for this story, but at the same time, I just think that's worth keeping in mind.
that is why a lot of Haitians are pushing back and they are discontent with its government because this Haitian government is nothing more than a U.S. puppet regime.
Now, speaking of that intervention, I mean, the
Uh,
U.S. may not have boots on the ground, but it has deployed a Coast Guard cutter to patrol the Haitian coast, and it's also delivered extra equipment to the Haitian police, including armored vehicles.
based.
So, what do you think is the United States' motive behind these actions?
What do you? They they asked for it. That Haiti solicited our help, so we gave them the help.
The United States, uh, they pretend to support uprising against authoritarian regimes. You see them cheer on the uprisings in Hong Kong. They cheer on
Which is
uprisings in
based.
Venezuela. You see them cheering for
So these are all things that I guess he's framing as bad. The Hong Kong protests were good, and also like overthrowing Venezuela was good. Like I okay,
uprisings in Russia, and you got all these
that'd be good
countries
too.
that the United States, also in Cuba as well. You see all these countries that the United States pretend to support the people who want to be free from authoritarianism, but now you have a real movement of Haitians that want to implement their self determination, and the United States is trying to get involved in the media, and the Western power has been claiming that they want to fight gangs. But what the media purposely leaves out is that the United States backed regime with the help of the United States, have armed gangs in Haiti that
Oh, okay. Uh, yeah.
anti-government demonstrators. So while the world stage is pretending that they
Hold on. Is there any validity to the claim that the United States in Haiti has funded these gangs? Is there any validity to this? I mean, I could do some research offline, I guess, but yeah.
they are worried about gang violence in Haiti. They sponsor some of the biggest gangsters and sponsor some of the biggest massacres in Haitian histories. So the same thing with Africa, with the No More movement going on there, with the movement going on in Venezuela, Brazil, and many other these global South countries to reject U.S. intervention. It just comes with people having the knowledge of what that comes, what the result of that would be. So if the United States continues to get involved and push for intervention in Haiti, once again, that's going to lead to a massive humanitarian crisis. Things are going to continue to get worse. And
Well, dude, look around you. There's shit burning. The country is fucked, and the United States has not sent any like any troops, or this was before they sent troops or aid to Haiti. Like this is all taking place before the United States decided to start giving a shit. And it's also before Haiti requested the help of the United States.
what they also leave out is the fact that the reason why Haitians are extremely upset is because their economic and financial situation. And you had Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, and Democrats who lobby to keep the minimum wage low in that country. So everyone knows the United States is not here out of the goodwill of Haitians for Haitians, but they
Wait, hold on. That's never been a talking point. Like I haven't seen that anywhere. Like has like anybody ever said the United States is doing this out of the goodness of their hearts? Anybody who says that is like a massive dumb fuck.
just want to instill full spectrum dominance.
Yeah, well, we'll certainly continue to follow this all too important story. Nicholas Cruz, co founder of the Revolutionary Blackout Network, thank you so much for your time and insight.
It's just amazing to me that this person he like the whole, and this is the pinned tweet, by the way. Like the whole thing is like to be crypto. Like you have to keep this subtle, my dude. If you want to pull lefties to the right, you got to do it in a little more of a subtle way. And going on to RT kind of burst that bubble. Damn. Okay. Yeah, I guess I guess I need to do a little more research on that. But from what I saw on the Wikipedia page, it does not look as though the United States did anything good with Haiti. Not by a long shot. But keep in mind, that doesn't necessarily mean that what is taking place right now with Haiti and the United States response is therefore like the same as what took place in the early 20th century. Yeah, so. Oh, shit. Yeah, these guys, these people like Nicholas Cruz are super, you know, pretend to be lefty, but actually I'm a fasci. And they still are bitching about. Oh man, I forgot. I gotta show y'all the thing that happened with AOC. I'm gonna have to find it. God, there's so much to talk about. Jesus. If we go down here. I have a feeling I'm not gonna be able to find it. I think I'm already beyond when it happened. Yeah, I am. Oh boy. Oh, I guess we can watch this real quick. So Kanye's going off his rockers Yeah, here. He's getting worse, surprisingly. That's even possible.
They'll say you're homophobic, and so I empathize with the position of the straight white male, and part of the reason why I empathize with that position is because I know that I'm headed to that position, and what position that is top power position. Oh my god. Okay. They'll say you're homophobic, and so I empathize with the position of the straight white male. And part of the reason why I empathize with that position is because I know that I'm headed to that position. And what position that is top power position. Oh my god.
That's crazy. I mean, there really isn't much to say about it. So, yeah, it's just pretty bad right now. Oh god. Oh yeah, shit. What was I looking for? My bad. Yeah. Let's see. Oh fuck. I'm gonna get brain damage if I see this, but I have to. Okay. I mean, there. Okay, so what I was kind of like gonna look for is like these, because these guys like they are so fucking triggered over sending money to Ukraine. Yeah. Okay. Oh, you know what? I totally forgot to talk about this. Okay, it's even in my title. Okay. So, this is really like, this isn't really like America related, but it kind of weaves into some of the responses from politicians. So, the other day, Justin Trudeau, who was the Prime Minister of Canada, had uh, he made a statement. So let's watch that statement.
To implement.
Oh my god, hold on. Okay, sorry about that.
A national freeze on handgun ownership. Today, our national freeze on handguns is coming into force. From today forward, it is no longer legal to buy, sell, or transfer a handgun in Canada.
So this is bad. Now, I am totally pro gun control. I am not. I am not pro gun abolition. So firstly, this isn't going to be a. This probably won't be effective. Now, the extent to which there is a gun problem in Canada, I can't really speak to that. I know there's a large number of guns in circulation in the United States, and a gun ban um, in the United States would just not work. Um, Now with Canada, however, I don't know the extent of how much gun violence there is. But I'm inclined to believe that like an outright ban on guns or firearms. He said handguns actually, so let's be specific. An outright ban on handguns is probably not going to meaningfully reduce gun homicides. Um, Also, it's probably not a good idea generally. Um, because I think it's okay to have. I think it's okay for citizens who have firearms, but I don't think it's okay for those for certain people to have firearms. One moment, please. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, so okay. I am not anti-gun. I am pro-gun. But I am against everybody having guns. There should be obviously, basic background checks. Red flag law, like stuff like that. I'm not like for the abolition of guns. So this, I, I am not in favor of. Now, um, the response from some people has been, of course, exacerbated. According to Ted Cruz, he believes that this is what the Democrats want. This is certainly not what the Democrats want. Another individual, actually, I could just look at the quote tweets. Actually, oh, yeah, this person stated who is a U.S. House candidate, how to lose freedom. Now, like, who gives up? Okay, if you're running for like a if you're running for a seat in the United States and you're concerned about what's going on in Canada and using that as a wedge issue for your like campaign, how is that gonna work? What, you're gonna fearmonger over gun legislation in a neighboring country and like somehow extrapolate that to like us, like the United States? Like that's I'm so baffled. Very baffled, in fact. There was also someone else. I just gotta find it. Oh yeah, Lauren Boebert said was yeah, like she's saying that you need to vote or else this will be, you know, coming to America. This is certainly not coming to America. I don't think any Democrat has proposed abolition of handguns. I have not seen that. I've seen it with like uh I've seen it with fucking um like assault rifles, but not handguns. Also, this person says communist, and apparently communism is when you ban guns or something. Lovely. So, there really isn't too much to discuss about this outside of the fact that conservatives are using this as a means of trying to prop up their campaign. I don't know, and also take shots at Canada, I guess. But personally, I'm not for this. I'm not for banning guns. And in fact, I believe most lefties aren't. This is just not going to be effective, and it just won't work. You know, like just banning it outright isn't going to like work. That's not really how that isn't how these things pan out. Also, just principally, I'm against banning guns because I think that the citizens should have the right to um, bear arms in the cases of, you know, governmental overreach, um, or if a fascist state takes control of the government. I would like to have, you know, a means of defending myself. So yeah, that's really all I have to say about this. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Okay, so yeah, I think that's really it, guys. I covered my bases. There's certainly other things that I could talk about, but like, you know, it's not really a super big deal. Oh, damn, is this real? Hold on. This is okay, guys. This is why it's so important to vote. Um, they are looking into several individuals watching a voter drop box in Mesa, Arizona. Also, okay. Also, this is, I believe, illegal. Voter intimidation is punishable by law. They have magazine clips dressed in technical gear, fully disguised. Yeah, this is illegal. It is very important that we vote. If you can vote through an absentee ballot, that is a bonus. But um, you know, these people, okay, they will they are against liberal democracy, right? And this is definitely voter intimidation. This would constitute that, yes. Um, okay, that's good to know. They responded. The men in tackle gear already left, but deputies measured to make sure the ballot watchers weren't too close. Okay, so that's good. So they're measuring the distance because you can't be super close to the ballot. I guess if you're a certain distance away, like the intimidation factor like goes to 0 or something. So yeah, this would obviously constitute as voter intimidation, 100%, yes. And it's really important that we highlight these things because Democrats, unfortunately, are unable, well, not even unable, but like generally underestimate the threat that fascists pose to liberal democracies. So really important that we highlight this and call it out, and we can use this from a left-wing perspective to really hammer home how important it is to know what we're up against. Convey that to Democrats. So, on that note, I leave you, and I hopefully you guys are staying safe out there. And if you can vote through an absentee ballot, that's what I would recommend. Don't have to, obviously, but that's just the most convenient way of doing it. It does cost you a little bit for like because you have to get like a special stamp, I think. Maybe it depends on the state. But it's like 89 cents or something, so it's not a big deal. But anyway, please go out and vote, and I encourage you to vote blue. And yeah, that's really about it. So I will see you guys. Yeah, I don't know. I guess next. I don't think I'm gonna be able to see you next week. I got something going on, but certainly the week after. I could also maybe do it during the day, one of these next 2 weeks. We'll see how it plans out. But next week I'm definitely gonna be too busy. So I'll see you either on the 5th of October or of November or earlier. All right.